Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Josh and Artemis Show. Today, we have a few topics that we're going to dive into for you. First one is about the incoming BBC presenter who says that men should be able to compete with women in sports. Has no problem with it. Surprise, surprise. And then we also have the male soldier in Spain who claims that he's a lesbian and was denied access to the female locker rooms. I mean, this doesn't get any more mental, does it? I mean, he's a man saying he's a lesbian, aka he likes women, so he's heterosexual. But yeah, now he's suing the military of defense 50,000 euros after being denied access to the change rooms. Yeah, as if it gets more insane. And yet, here we go with the next story. We've got this weird, mentally ill clown. I put in the post that she was an elementary school teacher because of the way the video was like presented. But I think that they just have like a channel of some kind, a web series that is targeted at preschoolers. So basically like 5 and under, about being LGBTQ plus friendly and you know, what it is to be queer and celebrate queer or spread queer joy, whatever the hell that means. So we do have that clip to play for you guys as well, which is obviously insane. But, you know, here we are. Here we are.
There we go. Yeah. So we'll get into all of this, guys. Before we do, as usual, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the show. If you are new, it does really help us a lot.
For sure. And if you do want to support the show, you could become a YouTube member, Patreon member. You can donate on Buy Me a Coffee or on PayPal. All the links are in the description and, of course, on the bio of our homepage on YouTube and on X.
There we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's share our screen then, and we'll get straight into these news stories for you. Let's go on the first tab.
Oh, spoiler alert, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so this one, yeah, so this is the incoming BBC present.
Where's the title gone? It's stupid ads.
If you go down.
I know. God.
Can you delete this shit or not?
No. I really hate ads.
Just refresh the page. Just refresh the page.
So frustrating.
There we go.
There we go.
So J.K. Rowling hits out at BBC over sports editors' trans comments. So this was coming in today. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a few people posting this. So we'll go through the article. Not going to read it all because it is. I don't think it's that long, but we'll just give you the highlights. Mm-hmm. So J.K. Rowling has accused the BBC of having a shameful record on gender issues after it put a man who has dismissed concerns about trans women competing against female athletes in charge of its sports coverage. Keeps getting crazier, guys. I mean, and the BBC, as J.K. Rowling has correctly said here, don't have any kind of record when it comes to protecting women these days. You know, they're very much anti-women in my book. Yeah, the BBC. The Harry Potter author said it was utterly predictable that Alex K. Jelski, the broadcaster's new director of sport, had downplayed fears raised by sportswomen such as Martina Navratilova about biological men participating in female categories. Mm-hmm. The journalist whom the BBC announced it had hired in April has faced criticism for an inflammatory column he wrote for The Times in 2019 while he was the newspaper's sports editor. He said that Navratilova, seen as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, and Sharon Davis, the Olympic swimmer, were not experts on the matter of trans participation in sport. I mean, two of the greatest female athletes of our time, really. I'm sure. Yeah, they don't really have an opinion on female sport, do they, mate? No.
They don't have enough experience.
No.
I mean, we should definitely take the word of this guy. Like, I don't know where to begin on the state of him, but yeah, we should totally take his word for it, right?
Jesus.
Right?
Anyway, let's go down. Both have repeatedly raised fairness and safety concerns over the participation of male-bodied trans athletes in female categories. Mr. J. Jelski appeared to compare those who portray trans athletes as being threatening to racists who warned, "Don't let black men in the same shops as you or they'll rape your women." I mean, the fact that he's trying to conflate these two things to, you know, hammer home his point that men should be able to compete against women, just tells you all you need to know about the intelligence of this guy, right? But he's trying to conflate these two things, what don't make any sense at all, to fit his little point story. And it's just cringe how people have to do these mental gymnastics with this issue to justify their points, when everybody with a brain knows that men should not be competing against women, full stop. Yeah. End of story. Doesn't take Sharon Davis or Martina Navratilova to say that. I mean, any average person on the street knows. Anyone with common sense. Anyone with common sense knows it's a load of rubbish. You know? Like, there's biological differences that no matter what medication you're taking will never change the physiology of your body. Yeah. And how many injuries need to be reported? I guess there's supposed to be like some kind of threshold. Like, all the injuries that we've seen over the last few years, like, those haven't counted enough. Like, we need more injuries, or maybe a death. Like, we need something more for them to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be allowing men play with females in sports. Like, maybe this is why we've segregated them over this entire time. I think it's mental. I think it will come down to something like that, like some sort of horrific injury. What happens, that people will wake up and say, yeah, this shouldn't be going on, but they should know that regardless anyway, without an injury. Yeah, it shouldn't have to come to an injury, but it's like, how severe does the injury need to be for you guys to wake up and start calling this out for what it is? Like, complete idiocy for even doing it in the first place. Like, it's so ridiculous, and it's just unfair for women. And also, it is like a safety concern. And why should we have to be kind and tolerate it? And again, we've pointed this out. Why isn't there any trans men in men's sports? Because they wouldn't be good enough. No offense, but they would not be good enough, because women are not built the way men are, and trans men are women. So, there's no comparison. And this is why it's not even remotely an issue. And also, do you think men would tolerate it? Like, no, they would just completely call it out. So it's like, why can't all women do that? Of course, we do have women who do it, myself included, but so many other prominent, more prominent women in sports calling this out. But it's like, how isn't it just a collective, how is this not every single woman who thinks this way? Like, why are some women thinking, yeah, this is fine, or we should, be kind, or, they're trans women, so, they do identify as a woman. So what? When it comes to things like sports, I'm sorry, but there's different, there's differences in the sexes, and this is why we segregate them. So yeah, for some presenter to be coming in and saying, yeah, I have no problem with men competing with women. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Does it even affect you anyway? Or will this just raise your view numbers? Like, what is the agenda here? I promise you it'll have the opposite effect. Well, no, because people, even if they're angry, they will tune in just to hear what he has to say. So either way, it's kind of like that saying, bad publicity is still publicity. I don't know with this one, because well, I hope not. I'm just saying that, what is the agenda here? Because it's clearly the most moronic thing that you can agree with. And now you'll have a big platform to talk about it. It's just ridiculous. It is. It is. We need to get these people out of the media. The media is just infected with these people who genuinely believe this crap, and they're just promoting it to thousands of people. He concluded his column by saying how mad and nasty it would be to argue that Jamaican sprinters or Ethiopian marathon runners. This is the thing. Why is he trying to compare this to a race issue? Exactly. It's such a load of rubbish. He's doing that so that way people focus on the wrong thing. Of course. Talking about oh, mustn't let a black man in the store if there's a woman there because he'll rape her. What?
Who has said that? Like, what does that have anything to do with women's sports? Like, it's just mental.
To argue that Jamaican sprinters or Ethiopian marathon runners should only be allowed to compete against each other as they also had physical advantages based on genetics.
I mean, there's tons of athletes who are more genetically advanced than others, who, if you compare a man to another man who they both work just as hard, one will likely have a bit more advantages just based on genetics, but at least they're both male. Like this, we're talking about sexes, you know, battle of the sexes. Like there's differences between men and women, but you know, once you start comparing women to other women, like it'll be the same thing. Like someone might be stronger than somebody else, and that could be just the makeup of your body. But it's still fair because you're both women or both men. So it's just like, to play race into it, it's like, again, like it's just like every other thing. They always have to mix race in there.
Mm-hmm. Right. Anyway, let's go down. Let's get through this. Okay. So. Right, so here's some comments from Martina Navratilova. So this is pretty pathetic. Never heard of this man. Looked him up here and found myself blocked. I mean, the fact that he's went and blocked someone like Martina Navratilova is pretty crazy.
And she didn't even know who he was.
Yeah. Once again, good to know that men apparently know what women like myself and Sharon know about biology and sports, etc. Just amazing to be this confident, no? That's what I've said. This is what I said before. It's crazy how this guy who isn't even a sportsman knows more about sports than, you know, like Martina Navratilova, one of the most successful women tennis players of all time, and Sharon Davis, someone who's won things at the Olympic Games. Like,
yeah, I mean, he has a degree in French and Spanish. So yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He has no experience with sports. So
sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
we should take what he says very very close to heart.
Let's see what J.K. Rowling said. I'd say it's unbelievable for a man in his position to say these things at all, let alone block you. And yet, given the shameful state of the BBC's reporting on the women's rights / gender issue, it's utterly predictable. Completely agree, yeah. J.K. Rowling. Really Shout out to J.K. Rowling for standing up for women, as usual. You know, and the amount of hate she gets, don't understand why. I really don't, and I never will, because she literally just says the truth.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
The former tennis star said she found it pretty pathetic to discover he had blocked her on X. Okay, I've read that.
Yeah.
Scroll down. Okay, she later added in a conversation about Mr. K. Jelski, in my experience, media genderists are amazingly fragile when it comes to challenges. They're so used to a very comfortable echo chamber. Mr. K. Jelski was appointed to replace Barbara Slater, who retired after 14 years as the BBC's director of sport. Okay. So in short, we've got a new clown who's running the BBC Sport.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it develops, guys, because no doubt we'll probably get some more crazy quotes from this guy.
For sure. And
we'll bring you those quotes as soon as we get them through. I guess. Yeah.
Oh my God. In his
2019 article, he suggested trans people seeking to compete in sports in their chosen gender should be allowed to quietly go about their lives, and told readers that they had gone through hell compared to you.
Okay.
He highlighted evidence which found there was little to no difference in performance between transgender women and their female peers. I mean, this is a guy who is the director of BBC Sport, right? And he's openly saying little to no difference between transgender women, aka men, and their female peers. I mean, is he having a laugh?
I know.
You know,
how many like titles and medals have trans women won now, and have established a record so high that any women cannot break that new record. Like, it's so ridiculous. We've seen it in golf, we've seen it in swimming, we've seen it in cycling, we've seen it in running. We'll continue to see it in probably many other sports. Volleyball, like we will continue to see it everywhere in all sports. But okay, sure. This guy who apparently knows nothing knows everything.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. We'll leave this one there, guys. We'll link all this in for you as well in case you want to check it out. But I'm sure if you just Google J.K. Rowling isn't happy with the BBC, I'm sure this one will come up first on Google for you. So the next story we've got, so this was from the one in Spain today. So male soldier who... This isn't a parody, okay? This is not a parody and it's not satire, okay? This is legit. Male soldier who identifies as a lesbian sues the military for 50,000 euros after being denied access to women's bathrooms. And this is genuine, right? He's not even trying to look like a woman here. This is what he looks like in his day-to-day life, and he's trying to claim that he's a lesbian.
Like, imagine this guy comes up to you and says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm a lesbian." I would just laugh and be like, "So you like women? Like, you're just straight?"
It's just so dumb.
This is clearly a man. It's just how far can we push the narrative?
But
all right, let's try.
Here's the crazy thing: like, a lawyer has heard his claim, and they've agreed to take on the case.
Yeah, because it's with trans.
Yeah, so they genuinely think that this guy will get some money, for this. Crazy.
How pathetic would that be? And like, imagine that not only did he get money, but like he'd be also allowed in the women's washrooms and locker rooms, and integrate with the women in the military. Like, can you even imagine that? Like, I would probably quit. Like, I'd probably be like, if this is how it's going to be, like, I'm not sleeping in my bed beside this man who's sleeping right next to me in the cot over there, or changing or showering. Like, it's so insane. The fact that this is even a debate.
It really is. So a soldier in Spain is suing the Ministry of Defense for almost 50,000 euros after accusing officials of not properly facilitating or accommodating his gender transition. Francisco Javier López, 43, recently announced he identified as a lesbian, but that he would not be changing his name or physical appearance in any way.
I can't.
Look, it's the same thing as me going into my workplace tomorrow, and standing up in front of all the sales team and saying, "I'm now a lesbian." And then expect everybody to take you seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'll be using the women's washroom from now on.
Oh yeah, and I'll be going into your women's washrooms from now on. And if you try and stop me, you're a transphobe, and I'm going to report you to HR.
Yeah,
like that's how insane it is. That's literally how insane it is.
Won't be changing his name, won't change his appearance. Then how the hell are you trans? Okay, like, if you're gonna commit, cut your dick off.
Yeah.
Get a boob job.
So, as previously reported by Redux News, Lopez began his journey to womanhood in spring of 2023, following the enactment of Spain's controversial trans law. The legislation dramatically relaxed its requirements for changing legal documents, striking down a requirement that the individual provide medical reports demonstrating that they had gender dysphoria or were undergoing cross-sex hormone therapy. The only formalities Lopez had to complete were the presentation of his request at the civil
registry.
Yeah, and waiting for a cursory 3-month period.
Like, I think they meant courtesy. But anyway, like,
despite revising his legal sex, Lopez has said he will not be changing his name or undergoing any alterations to his body in the form of hormones or surgery. To me, I mean, I left a comment on their article today because this story came out a few weeks ago. And I said, I genuinely thought this guy was just taking the piss at first, because I thought he's taken the piss to show how ridiculous this all is, But apparently he's not. This is like genuine. He genuinely believes that he's a lesbian. I'm not going to get an amputation, nor will I have any surgery. I'm happy with my body and I like women. This is just a straight guy wanting to get into women's changing rooms.
I know.
That's all it is.
Because as soon as they relaxed the laws, he didn't have to do anything to prove that he had gender dysphoria.
No.
All he had to do was complete a presentation at the civil registry, and now he's just waiting. Like, he was just waiting the 3-month period. That's it.
Yeah.
So, like, all he had to do was do that. Like, he didn't have to do any medical examinations, any like psychological treatments, nothing. This just shows what a joke it is, and how much they like how much like women are not like, women is like, being a woman is just something you can literally write on a piece of paper and become.
Exactly.
Like, it's a joke. Like, they're treating women as if we're nothing. Like, as if all you have to do is sign a paper saying, I'm a woman, and now you are one. Like, as if magic. Like, where's fairy godmother to just change you to a woman? Like, this guy doesn't want any surgery, doesn't want to change his appearance, and he's happy and likes women. He's literally a straight man. He's a beautician. So what? He feels better talking to women than men. So I've met men before where they're like, oh, all my friends are girls. I mean, that just is a little weird. Like, you don't have any guy friends. But that doesn't mean you're a woman. Like, and he's a dad.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. He's the father of an underage girl.
Just months prior to deciding to change his sex marketing, he appeared on a dating reality show called First Dates. I love First Dates. Oh my God,
First Dates is really funny.
I love First Dates. During his time on the show, he confessed to liking long hair and high heels, and also said he had a high heel shoe fetish, which is fine. You know, just, you know.
No, but I think that means he likes to wear that.
No, or he likes women in high heels.
I don't know. Yeah.
Either way, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've seen. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just trying to interpret what was meant by that.
A transgender soul. Okay, we've seen that. Okay, we'll read this bit and then we'll move on. So Lopez has been in the military since 1999 and is stationed in the southern city of Seville. Nice place, where he is a heavy machinery mechanic. After his change of sex marker, Lopez told Diario de Sevilla that he requested the use of the female facilities at his barracks. I could not continue using a locker room contrary to my gender, so I requested the use of the locker room that corresponded to my gender, which I understand should be a female locker room since I am a woman. I mean,
he is taking the piss.
He's got to be taking the piss.
Like,
he has to be.
This is insane.
He has to be. This is what I mean. I'm very much on the fence. I don't know if he's doing this to take the piss or he genuinely believes that he's a lesbian. I don't understand. You know? But the fact that he's going all out to sue the Ministry of Defense, I can't get my head around it.
Yeah.
I can't get my head around this one. The lawsuit argued that Lopez was faced with both legal insecurity and a state of job and social insecurity after being placed under a notorious limitation in the use of female facilities. His lawyer also told the press that his restriction revealed various serious and culpable breaches caused by the Ministry of Justice.
Well, because they were forcing him to use it in isolation. So basically only when other women weren't in there.
So and he was complaining at that?
Yeah. Because now it isolates him.
But this is, look, so if let's take his word for it here. Let's say that he genuinely believes that he's a lesbian, right? Which I'm not sure if I believe at this point, but if he genuinely thinks that, it's just absolutely insane how he has the nerve to demand, okay, right, you've been given access to female bathrooms, which I completely don't agree with, but okay, here you go. And then he's got the nerve to complain and he wants even more rights. You know, no, I'm still not happy. I want all the women to be in here. You know, I
I
don't
want
want
to
to
be
be
in here
isolated.
when other women are in
Yeah,
here because I'm a
I
woman.
don't want to be isolated. I mean, can you believe the nerve of this?
And he's supposedly a lesbian, so wouldn't you have female like consideration for the feelings of the women that you're apparently attracted to if you're a lesbian yourself? Like it's just like, no, I'm sorry, women don't need to see your genitals when they're having a shower because they've had a long day in the army. I don't know, it's just like, or anywhere, guys, but like it's just, this is what we mean. It's such a joke, and this is why we say being a woman is like wearing a costume, or like just a feeling, or just something you can identify as to be a pervert. Like this guy is clearly got like some issues here, because he's not only just taking advantage of this whole thing that's already insane, but he's already said how he's happy with how he looks and he's not going to change any of his physical appearance. So he's still got a dick, and yet he's going to go into the women's washrooms and change rooms and expect to be treated like a woman, when anybody with a set of eyes can see that he's clearly a man. Like it's like, no, and you're encroaching again on our private spaces. But because, ooh, you say that you're transgender, all of a sudden you have more rights than women do. Like women need to wake up. Trans have more rights than women do.
Look, and this guy sums it up for me, because what he's done here, it's like, you know, he's got these rights which he shouldn't have. You know, the fact that he can, you know, just write something on a piece of paper and he's a woman, and then he gets access to female bathrooms. That's not enough for this guy, right?
Yeah.
He also wants all the women to be in the changing room.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be restricted to doing it, like being in there alone. It's like, why? You're in the female change room. Why do you have to have other women in there with you? Hey, I'd love the privacy.
Because
honestly,
again,
I'd be like, sweet, I get this whole bathroom to myself.
Because again,
great.
It's not about that.
Yeah, of course it's not.
It's literally about like
exposing himself and making women feel vulnerable.
That's all it's about.
Like on edge, that he's around and that he's basically dominating.
Of course. And
he's like, what are you going to do about it? What, you're going to try to complain? I identify as a woman. What are you supposed to do about it? We, like, our rights are being taken away as women, and like not enough women seem to care. It's infuriating, honestly. I lose so much respect for people who don't care about this at all. And it's like, we literally, like I just said, like trans women have more rights than women do. If you see a man pretending to be a woman in your change room and you don't feel comfortable and they're exposing themselves to you, what are you going to do? If you complain about it, but they identify as a woman, you're screwed. Like, what? They're not going to do anything, because they're protecting the rights of these trans people instead of the rights of women. And they're taking our spaces and we're doing nothing about it. Like, people need to wake up. Like, women need to call this out and start fighting back for their rights. Like, this is just insane. And yeah, this is in the military as well. So it's like, there's no standards anywhere you go.
Look at the military across the world. I mean, we brought a story. Remember that transgender person who's in charge of the Space Force in America?
Yeah.
There's like so many people in positions of power within the military now who are trans. Gender, and they're openly promoting this stuff, and
and I wonder why. And now they're like, oh, well, we have even more women as leaders. No, you're a man. You might be wearing a wig, you might be wearing a dress, you might be wearing lipstick, but you are a man. So no, we do not have more women in these powerful positions. We have more men infiltrating themselves into these positions and then saying that they're women. Like, it's just like, again, wake up. Like, you're celebrating having a trans woman in this, trans woman in that, a trans woman winning this, a trans woman feeling love and acceptance for herself, being a woman now, a trans woman sticking tomato juice up her pretend vagina, saying that they're getting their periods now. Like, they're making a mockery of women. And I'm not saying all trans, obviously, because you can't generalize every single trans person, but the ones that are like the majority that are doing this publicly and, encroaching on our rights and our spaces as women, like, we're just supposed to tolerate it and say, let's be kind. You can expose yourself in front of me or in front of my children, like, totally normal. uh you know to pretend like you're getting a period, that's not, a bit mentally unstable. That's totally normal too. Of course a woman would stick tomato juice up her vagina to pretend she has a period, like it, and then to feel euphoric about it. Like, it's like, wake up. Like, enough is enough. Like, this is just mental.
Look, like we've said a couple of days now, this will all be done in 2 years. Because how can't it be? They're cutting everything off at the source now. All of these major European countries, you've had, making massive changes, banning puberty blockers to people who are under 18. They're cutting things off at the source. So in my opinion, like within 2 years, this will pretty much all be done.
Yeah, well, once also we have some new leaders, like if Trump comes in, Biden's out, and once Trudeau is gone, then we'll start to see some of the West actually get control back of their countries and bring back some kind of normalcy. But because it like we've said before, the West needs to look and be strong, and right now the Western countries look weak. And we don't have proper leaders who are taking care of their people in their country. So we need to see like massive change on a high scale.
Very true. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Getting through these now.
What's this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is this one.
Then that's just okay.
So make the screen bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's click on this one first and we'll play you the video.
Okay.
So yeah, this was coming up on our feeds today. A few people talked about it, so we thought we'd bring it up. So bring back queer kid stuff. So this used to be I guess like a web channel, like a web series online. So they're trying to reboot their award-winning LGBTQ plus preschool web series to combat hate and spread queer joy to preschoolers.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And look, and they've set up a GoFundMe page. Some idiots have actually sent some money and they've managed to raise $7,694.
But
somehow, I don't
why
get
is
it.
their goal over 100,000? And that's Canadian, so I think it was converted because this is a random number.
Well,
so
maybe
it's
that's
probably
how
US.
that might be how much it takes to produce the show, I guess, for a whole series.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
Oh, interesting. All or nothing. This project will only be funded if it reaches its goal by Friday, June 28th.
Oh, shit. You're running out of time, guys.
So, well, no, let me get this straight. So if they don't get the goal, do they just keep that money?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Of course they do. That's not ridiculous because their goal is $100,000.
It's not suspect at all, is it? No.
The end of this month. So like in like 2 weeks.
Okay, let's scroll
what
down.
A joke.
Does it say anything on there?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me read this. So help us reboot our award-winning web series to spread queer joy. I wish I had this when I was a kid. Say literally millions of LGBTQ plus viewers.
Millions.
Say really? Literally millions. Okay, sure.
Okay.
Let's go down. Hi, I'm Mix Lins. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's like instead of Miss.
Okay, I'm just going to say Miss.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Lins, a.k.a. they, them. And this is my best friend. This is my best stuffed friend, Teddy, he, they. We're the creators of the original queer kid stuff. You might already know Lins from their viral TED Talk, their LGBTQ plus affirming parenting book. They literally wrote the book on how to talk to kids about queer stuff and social justice. Why?
Who the fuck would buy this? Oh my god.
Well,
oh my
we
god.
all know
okay.
who.
Yeah, I
Far
know.
left radical women. That's my prediction. It's going to be 99% women who would buy this shit for sure. They literally wrote the book on how to talk to, their picture book or their work writing and consulting in mainstream preschool media like the award-winning Blues Clues and Your Pride Parade music video, or the non-binary character they created for the Paw Patrol universe. Don't the girls like Paw Patrol?
Well, they're kind of over Paw Patrol, but still. They captured Blues Clues? I used to like Blues Clues as a kid.
Basically, they've dedicated their entire career to making queer stuff for kids and kids at heart. And Teddy is Lindsay's actual childhood bear. They truly represent the child's voice in the show. His curiosity, love of learning, and silliness guides each episode. Together, Linz and Teddy co-host their beloved indie preschool web series, Queer Kid Stuff, that has been spreading queer joy since 2016. Look, this all feels like a satire, like parody thing to me. Like, how is this even real? For the reboot, Linz and Teddy are collaborating with their creative partners at Five Successes Productions. Okay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because it's like this, like, what is queer kid stuff? Why do you need help? What can you get? Where does the money go?
Right.
Yeah, where does the money go?
Here we go. Our budget. So production costs come up to 55%. Talent and guests. I mean, I'm surprised they've got 15% there. It should be minus $1 million for that one. Post-production, rewards and shipping, Kickstarter fees.
Okay.
Risks and challenges. While we're committed to delivering a high-quality product, unforeseen challenges in production or scheduling may arise.
Honestly, it sounds like she's like grifting. Like,
of course she's grifting. Oh my god!
No, but I mean, of course she's grifting. But I mean, I almost want to say this whole Kickstarter thing. I'm tempted to just say it's never going to actually go to production, and she's just going to keep this money to herself.
Right. Anyway, let's play the clip because I actually haven't watched this with sound on yet. I've actually just seen their voice, like their face moving, but I haven't actually heard what she sounds like. So let's play this.
Okay.
It's finally time to bring back Queer Kid Stuff. We're launching a Kickstarter campaign to reboot the web series so we can keep spreading queer joy and combat hate. We're going to bring Queer Kid Stuff to life like never before, with new music, animated segments, field trips to awesome places like your local LGBT center or even a gender-affirming doctor's office. It's gonna be awesome!
Or even a gender-affirming office, aka a child mutilation center.
I know,
right? Like, and I'm just lost for words. I'm just honestly lost for words at these people, how they genuinely believe that what they're saying is right.
I know.
You know, like, how have they been so...
They've just been
completely like manipulated by something which just isn't true. That a child can be born in the wrong body.
I know.
It's just fundamentally a load of shit.
I know.
It just really is. And I'm tired. I'm just so tired of having to deal with it daily, honestly. And of course, we'll keep doing it for the show, but it honestly gets really exhausting that you've got genuine, real people in the world who go along with this stuff, which we all know just fundamentally is a load of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how dumb can you be? It's just dumb.
It is. And also just harmful to children. Like, leave kids alone. Like, aiming this at preschoolers, so like 5 and under, like, what a creep. Like, honestly, why are you so obsessed with their sexuality when they don't even know what that means for years? Like, they don't have a clue. They don't care. Kids at that age and any other age under puberty as well, like, just they're just enjoying being a kid. Like, leave them alone. And let's not push puberty blockers and surgeries and just all this brainwash that's only going to do harm to their bodies as, you know, in the most important years of their life to grow. Like, you know, puberty blockers isn't just a pause like these people want to claim. Like, there's so many other dangers about going on these puberty blockers that haven't even really been tested or FDA approved either. Like, these were different medications to use on like cancer patients, to castrate men, and these will sterilize your children. They won't grow their full bone density properly. They'll have nerve complications and damage. They'll also have a lower IQ because their brain won't fully develop. And yeah, they won't be able to have the choice of having children, which what kid can make that decision either?
They can't.
And then surgeries, like, don't even get us started. We've talked about it so many times, but either way, it's like, these are not decisions kids should be making. So like, what gives this lunatic a right to try to promote this to children and basically tell them that, like, this is okay, this is a great thing, please join us? It's like a cult. Join us. Like, no, thank you.
Well,
no,
like,
thank you.
Like any cult, they get people when they're vulnerable or young.
Yeah.
And it's the same story with this stuff. Anyway, let's press play.
And we want to expand the series into conversations around how queer issues and kids come together across all social justice movements. Whoa, that sounds so cool, Linz. Teddy and I have changed too. I came out as trans and non-binary and got gender-affirming surgery, and I have a lot more experience under my belt as a creator and person making queer stuff for kids. By backing our Kickstarter campaign, you'll get exclusive rewards like behind-the-scenes updates, digital downloads, awesome merch like temporary Teddy tattoos, and stickers, and even a one-on-one hangout with Teddy and me. It's gonna be so much fun!
A one-on-one hangout with you and Teddy.
Oh my God.
I'd rather stick pins in my eyes for all eternity.
Oh my God. I didn't watch it all the way to the end. Holy crap. Come and hang out with me, children. Me and my teddy bear.
It's just so creepy.
In my basement.
It's just so creepy,
like,
you know? It really is creepy.
Fuck? Like, honestly, guys, like, make it make sense, because it doesn't. And it is creepy. And also, like, pretty much, like, most of what was even said in this video, let's say a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old wouldn't have a clue what any of this stuff means. And like, social justice, like, it's just so mental.
Look, this whole look, it's all this woke crap. Like, everything, these far left radical policies.
It's a woke mind virus.
And what's happened is they're conflating everything in what they were saying was correct there. It's all about social injustice and the oppressor versus the oppressed. And they're trying to do this with everything with kids now. They're putting in, gender, critical race theory, like all of these things which kids shouldn't even be thinking about, especially at preschool. I mean, come on. But yet they're trying to get these topics into elementary schools to a very early age to indoctrinate these kids to hate each other. That's what all this is about. It's designed to hate who you are and where you've come from.
It's finally time to bring.
There's countless examples, and there's countless. It's just all over the West that were designed to kind of hate where we've come from, and it's all linked.
Yeah.
What is abortion anyway? Is that one of the books?
What's an abortion anyway is one of the books.
Why are they teaching that to kids as
well? That's this book here on the shelf. Like, what the fuck? Like, Yeah, let's teach a 5-year-old what an abortion is. I mean, again, like, what are we doing to children? This is a genuine war on children. And they are the only ones who are going to suffer from all of this. Like, and that should scare people because, first of all, because of how wrong it is. But second of all, because that is the future generation. What will the world look like if, you know, I just can't. It just baffles me that we even have to talk about this and that people like this exist and are trying to push this crap onto children, especially children under 5. Like, and yeah, like, are you gonna read that in a story time on your show? Like, what's an abortion anyway? Like, and well, all these books, like something said, like there was another one when we watched the video was like not a he, not a she. I was like, you're just confusing children, and like children don't have the understanding to be like, okay, this was like what it has always been, and this is what people are trying to say now. So if kids are only learning what they say now and not what is actually based on science and facts, like the next generation is going to be dumb, okay? And they're not going to have any like grounding of what is like science and facts and their own biology and anatomy. Like they're not even going to understand what like they are. And then, you know, they're going to have somebody tell them and then they're going to be like, well, is that your opinion? And it's like, no, that's a fact.
Like I just said a minute ago, it's all by design. It's all designed for to make kids hate themselves and hate each other from an early age. That's what this is all about. You know, and we've seen examples in schools where they're teaching people about critical race theory and that white people are the oppressors, and you know, and then we've had, you know, I've seen examples of this, like the Palestine Israel war. You know, they're trying to talk about this to preschoolers and getting them to, you know, protest and things. And it's like, what are you doing?
And you shared a clip earlier today on our page where, just in that regard, where like these people were like saying like, I wish Hitler was still here because he'd get rid of all of you. It's like, what the hell are people saying? Like people have no regard to what they're saying anymore. They're just spewing absolute hate and disgustingness, and the world is just going to shit. So like, what are we going to do about it? Is everybody just going to let this all happen, or are we going to try to do something about it?
Well, we're trying, but we need
more people. Of course we are, but yeah, we need, like, everybody needs to stand up for like what's right. And you know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you're pro Palestine or pro Israel. You should also be pro human. Like, what are you saying to each other? Like, anyway, we're getting off topic, but at the same time, it's just really disappointing to read some of this stuff and to watch some of these clips and like to just see how much we're breaking down as like humans and just the way we treat each other.
We're going through a shit cycle, but I'm an optimist, and we'll come back to reality at some point.
Yeah, I'm
fully convinced within 2 years we'll be coming right back to reality.
I hope so.
I honestly do, because this stuff cannot go on, and it won't go on. It won't be allowed to go on. You know, the new leaders what are coming into all these countries now. You know, we've got elections in so many countries coming up in major, you know, European, North America. You know, all these places have their elections coming up, and there will be big fucking changes coming in. I can guarantee it.
Sure.
So for me, we're on the last legs of this shit now. We really are. But anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, as usual. A bit of a shorter show tonight. We do have some stuff to do tonight, so I've tried to get through 3 stories as quickly as we can tonight. So I appreciate your patience. So just before we go, guys, as usual, if you're new to our channel and you like the stuff we talk about, subscribe to the show. Hit the notification bell. We go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday now, 8 p.m. Eastern. We used to go daily, but we had to tone it down a bit because of work in the background. So so it's 3 shows.
Not our day job yet.
3 shows for now, but we'll hopefully do some more at some point as well.
Yeah. And if you do want to support the show, you could become a YouTube or Patreon member. You can also donate on buymeacoffee.com or PayPal. Links are all in description and, of course, the bio of our homepage. But most importantly, turn on notifications, specifically, especially on X, because we can't post in advance when we're going to be live like it does on YouTube, where you can just see it. So you definitely want to check in when we're going live. I mean, we do have over 30 people watching, which is great. So yeah, if you like the show, share it out and like it and leave a comment, your thoughts and opinions. Don't be shy. Use your voice as well. Whether you agree or even disagree, I think we should be able to have discussions like civilized people.
Sure.
So, it's always appreciated. And yeah, we'll be back. What day is it today? Today's Tuesday. So we'll be back Thursday.
Back Thursday.
And yeah, we'll see everybody then, and we'll see what madness comes out between today and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe and keep your sanity.
Yeah.